Raid Boss. Is this game really as cool as people are saying? And for some of you, probably a lot of you, you may not even know what it is because I haven't covered it on my channel, and I know my channel is the only channel you watch on YouTube. I'm just kidding, but I'd like to sometimes think that. The truth is, Raid Boss has been a cultural phenomena for the past couple of days or weeks since it came out. People have been playing it, and a lot of popular and professional players such as Incon and Weekend have actually been uploading a lot of games based on this mode, and it's been incredibly entertaining to watch. For those of you who don't know what the mode is, I'll walk you through that in a moment so you know at least how to play. And later on, we may even do a video on Raid Boss strategies, so you all have a little bit of a heads up before you start this mode, because there is a bit of a learning curve. But the other reason I wanted to make this video was to talk with you all and get your opinions on how good you think this game mode is. Yes, it's the hot trend, people are playing it, no doubt about it, it's getting a lot of views. But is it really that good? Is it really that fun? And should we all, even if we haven't started playing it, start putting some time into putting a group of friends together and getting ourselves some time in this mode? Is it worth it? Is it fun? Is it something you want to spend your time in? And also, is it going to last? Is this just a phenomenon taking over YouTube and the Smite community for a couple of weeks and then vanishing to normal gameplays again? Or is this something that people will actually continually and always want to see? Will you see people making Raid Boss series? Will they be playing this and it be as enjoyable as a conquest or a normal joust? Will this become something that people want strategies around and how to actually build certain types of characters in Raid Boss? This is something I want to talk about, the potential, I think, effects of this game mode, what my current thoughts are, and I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. So, first off, without further ado, let's talk about what is Raid Boss. For those of you who don't know, it is a brand new 1v5 custom game mode in the Joust map. Now, both teams start at level 3. They all start with max gold, and it's a random pick, which means that you don't know which god you're going to get, and neither do the raiders, and that's really a lot of the fun. The randomization means that nobody knows whether it's going to be a great matchup for the Raid Boss or if it's going to be a bad matchup for the Raid Boss, if they'll have a ton of CC and the Raid Boss will have no escape, or if somehow the Raid Boss will get lucky enough to get some healing in his kit, because no healing is allowed to be purchased by the Raid Boss. And by healing, I mean no lifesteal, so you can't build any items with lifesteal, so no blood forges, no polynomicons, etc, etc. But the Raid Boss is also not allowed to build Soul Reaver, and he's not allowed to build Mail of Renewal. Now, these two items allow him to kind of one-shot people a little bit too frequently in Soul Reaver, and Mail of Renewal allows him to heal so much that it kind of really turns the advantage to the Raid Boss. Although it's very hard for the Raid Boss in general, this makes it a lot easier, and I think it would throw off the balance of the game. So those are some of the official rules for the Raid Boss. For the Raiders, however, they can buy only starter items. That's right, starter items. They can't buy any other items. They got 100k gold and they can only buy starter items. I mean, this is a little frustrating, but they get all those 6 starter items, and they can buy Sunder as their first active. Now, they may buy wards, which means that that team of 5 players will all be getting wards with all their 100,000 gold, and they'll be able to ward up the entire map, so they'll usually know exactly where the Raid Boss is. And they can also buy Teleria/Traveler shoes, the shoes that grant more movement speed while they're not in combat, but of course don't have very good stats on them. They may not buy anything else. That's it. That's all they can have. Starter items, Sunder, Blink as a second active, they may buy wards, Teleria boots, and nothing else. Now, if you get Ratatoskr, he could also buy his full Acorn, so that's a little bit of a difference, but that's the case. So then the Raid Boss comes out into lane and tries to lane as a 1v5 matchup goes on, and he's basically trying to clear minions, letting few come under his tower, while the Raiders are trying to apply pressure and hopefully kill him before he gets too big, because that solo farm will eventually grant him a big enough level lead that he is just going to have too much health, he's going to have too much base protections, and he's going to get too far ahead. And then if you add a kill onto that, he is going to snowball and basically be this unstoppable force that they have a really hard time killing. Now, the thing is, even though they have a hard time killing him almost the entire game, if they kill him once, it's pretty much going to mean that they can get his tower. And if they kill him twice, it's going to mean they can get his Phoenix and potentially his Titan. The truth is, dying as the Raid Boss means that your respawn timer is going to be extremely long, and that is the big key. You could be doing so well. You could go 58-2 as a Raid Boss, and on that second death, lose the game because your respawn timer was like 50 seconds. They went and got the Bull Demon King, and then they got Phoenix and got Titan before you could actually end up coming back to save the day. That is something that's happened to me many times, and so trust me, although this is a very, very easy game sometimes for the raid boss, it can feel amazing, it's very difficult because one mistake could mean a loss for you. Now, when I played the raid boss game, I was actually playing against very good players, probably some of the best players in my clan, and so they were all very used to playing with each other and coordinating. They had some extremely strong pressure on me and were taking me out at the right times, and I managed to do well a couple of times, but most of the times I lost. However, I can imagine if the team was not as prepared, was not as strong, and maybe wasn't as used to playing with one another, I could have really dominated some of these raid boss games. It still would have been a challenge, but I think I would have won a few more than I did playing with my clan. But the truth is, was this something that I would play all day long? Was this something I could recommend? Did I find that it was the real deal? The question we were asking before, is this some kind of fad, or is this really an amazing game mode? And the truth is, I find myself saying yes. I mean, this game was a blast to play. Even when I was losing, I had a lust to play again. Now, I know that's part of my competitive nature. I want to play and win, and so I want to keep going. I'm down to keep competing until I get that victory. I'm that guy who will not give up, and I know people will get tired of beating me, but I'm getting a little better each time, and I know that victory is coming. So yes, I'm excited about that, and because I kept losing to my good teammates who were really coordinated, I wanted to keep playing. But the truth is, it was such a fun experience strategically. I had myself making interesting decisions in terms of buying which items, what defense I was building, or how I was being offensive, and playing perfectly was such a big, it was so hard, but it was so satisfying when I did it, and it was so challenging that I loved the experience and kept seeking it again and again. And it was also really amazing to see some of these characters as raid bosses. I mean, Susanoo as a raid boss, even though I lost that game, is nuts. He's disgusting. He's so good. He like one-shots everybody with his #1, and a couple of the other characters I played, any hunter, was so much fun, and it was just great to see all the different classes being played together, and basically being able to see how they fared as the raid boss, and then of course how they fared in terms of being a raider. So breaking it down into points, there's this really cool aspect of the game that allows you to see different characters in different roles, and I also really love game modes that allow you to build, you know, with 100,000 gold, because of the fact that you could see that character at full build, you could see the destructive damage that God can do, and it's pretty fun. I think that's a great aspect of Raid Boss and what makes it very entertaining, enticing to play. Always wants you to play a little bit more because you're thinking, oh, who's that next character I'm gonna play? I want to see how they go ham, you know, in this mode. And ham means hard as macaroni for those who don't know, because you know when you get the macaroni shells, they're like not cooked and they're pretty hard. And the other aspect of this game that I really love is the randomization. I think it's actually one of the best aspects of this game because you never know what the matchup is going to be. You're not picking the best character that you think is going to be an unbeatable raid boss, or you're not picking the best raiders that you know will have enough CC and damage to shut down any boss that comes your way. You're actually just going in and having the fate of the gods being determined by the random RNG, and I absolutely love that. I think that that makes the game a lot more compelling because every game is this new experience. Every character you get is like, oh man, now I gotta work it with this character, and it just becomes more entertaining. As the group you're playing with, as the raiders, it's more fun because you guys are like, well, now what do we have? How can we combo our kits to really make sure this raid boss goes down? And for me, as a as a raider, as a raid boss, which is what I was playing a lot yesterday, it just makes me think, how can I use this kit to get away? What do I have to save? You know, I remember one really cool matchup where it was an Isis versus a Nox, and every time I would wing gust, she would throw her #2 or Siphon Darkness under me, and it would cancel out my wing gust, so I could not get my #1 off. I'd have to use my #2, so I started leveling my 2 first, and it became this cool little counter matchup. And then of course also Sylvanas was there, so whenever Sylvanas was basically about to ult, or there were a lot of knockups coming out from any of their other characters, I'd go into my #1 and it would allow me the immunity to knock up. So it would be really cool counters all over the place, and it was really fun to showcase how using your kits when they get randomly put together and kind of randomly counter each other, whoever uses it most effectively really gets the victory. Now the truth is though, in my opinion, that it's a little easier for the raiders to make mistakes and still win because they've just got to kill the raid boss once or twice to basically almost win the game, get towers, phoenixes, bull, demon king, and get the get the titan. But as a raid boss, it is definitely a little bit more difficult in terms of you have to play perfect if the team knows what they're doing against you. And again, that's one of the best things about this. There's a high skill cap. It's not something that's easy to do or win on pretty much both sides. You have to perform. And again, that's another mode. That's another reason I love this mode, because you have to be able to perform in your role. It's not just a gimme. It's not a gimmick. And I think a game like a 1v5 where one character can buy all the items and the other characters have to buy starter items can feel like, well, this is one-sided, but really it's not. It's pretty balanced, except that you have to show up to play. So to conclude this video, I want to bring up the last point, which is, will this game be something we see in the future? Will we see people make series on this game mode? Will we see strategies and guides come out for characters in this game mode? And of course, I actually am in strong belief that that will happen. I actually intend to put out a raid boss guide. I intend to put out actually a lot of videos for raid boss because I had so much fun. I've already got 2 or 3 that I'll at least be putting out, and I intend to play it more and more. So I think this is something that could definitely become a series, or at least a part of the variety of Smite entertainment on YouTube. And of course, in game, I think you guys will have a blast if you actually do play it. Grab 6 people in your clan, or just grab 4 or 5 friends and pick up a random. People have been joining these games, I think, looking for it. So you might even be able to get somebody on, just a random person. If you make an open game, join in and play on the side of the raiders and just have a blast. Do it and enjoy yourselves. I think this is a game that not only works for the casual community, but I think people find a lot of competitiveness in it, and I think it could be a very fun, entertaining thing to watch on both sides of the game. So I'm excited to showcase you guys the upcoming raid boss gameplay I've got, and I'm excited to hear your feedback on it. And if you want to make sure you catch that video, just click the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I upload it, and you'll be one of the first to see the first raid boss gameplay on my channel, which will be pretty exciting. I'm also really interested in what your thoughts and opinions are on the current raid boss game mode, and if you've come up with any cool iterations or anything like that you want to share. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you disliked it, go ahead and dislike it. Let me know. Your feedback is important to me and makes me a better YouTuber every single day. Thank you all for watching. Of course, comment if you have something to say, and if you want to see the link to the actual Reddit post for Raid Boss, I'm going to link it in the description below so you guys can see the official rules and see some of the comment threads going on about it. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is RAYNz, and remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.